Another episode of My Kind of Convo. So excited about tonight. We have quite a few topics to get through, but hopefully it's going to be fun. It's going to be conspiratorial. It's going to be thought-provoking and overall just a good conversation. So thanks for joining us again, and we're going to get into our topics. So, well, you guys know me. My name is Criss, and we have my co-host.
Co-hostess with the mostest.
So, who wants to pop off tonight? We got Kim and we got Chrissy. I could always start.
Go for it. I'm gonna give that to you.
All right, so... All right, girls. So the other day we were watching 90 Day Fiancé. It just started a whole new, it's got its multiverse going on there. And you wouldn't think people would be that interested in it, but they are. They keep bringing out our old favorites and we'll keep watching. And my sister will keep dragging me into them.
Right, because I've been watching 90 Day Fiancé forever.
She really has, from like the get-go. Anyway, so they just started a new one called Last Resort. And there was a couple on there that have been on there for a long time, Kalani and Asuelo. And basically just the gist of their relationship for anyone who has never watched a 90 Day in their life, or those who've tuned in just randomly. Basically their story is Kalani went to...
I'll fill this part in.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Thanks, Kim.
So, and Kalani, beautiful Samoan woman who is really born in the U.S., decided to take a vacation to Samoa, and she went as a virgin. 29 years old, went up to live up her best life, right? Just enjoy her life. Pop off.
Have a good time.
So she went out there and she met the guy on the beach like they all do at the resorts, Asuelu. And Asuelu popped that cherry. All right? Asuelu popped that cherry so well she got pregnant.
Oh. Okay.
So, pregnant with her first kid, she was a virgin, So she was like, and Kalani at the time, I believe, was 30. He was like 26. So, she's like, look, I'm pregnant. I'm keeping the baby. It is what it is. You riding on this boat, you're not. They decided, we gonna work it out. He got his K1 visa. They got engaged, moved to the U.S. They got married.
And they had another kid.
So that's the basic background.
So that background, knowing that now, in last resort, which means literally our relationship has come to its last resort. This is us trying to make this work. And it's come down to the fact that Asuelo cheated. And the way they found out was he was in Samoa to see his dad. And he's on video chat with Kalani, and he goes, "Why is my tongue white?" And he shows it to her, and she goes, "That's thrush." So thrush is
it's a form of yeast infection
that you can only get
from kissing lips or kissing other lips.
Right. So that's how she found out he was cheating. He said that he just kissed them, but then turns out he was offered BJ, and he took it. And here we are with this cheating. But of course she was done. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. But his solution was, I'm going to give you a hall pass. I'm going to let you do you, so now I guess we'll be on even ground.
But the whole pass was, I'm gonna let you go kiss somebody.
But here's the mistake though. The major mistake is him thinking she wouldn't use it
because she was a virgin before they were together.
So he messed up thinking that she wouldn't use it, and Sister Soldier used it. The problem was Sister Soldier used it very well. She didn't just use it for kissing. She used it for more than kissing. Kissing there and kissing down there, and then revealed on the show, because he found out that, you know, she did the oral too, but found out on the show she had full-on sex with this other person. Now she's in a predicament of confusion because she's only ever been with him, and now she's experienced someone else.
Right.
So now she's gotten to the point of, you know, like, yes, I've only ever wanted you as my husband, but now I'm confused because there's this other person, and this other person catered to me more than you have ever have since the start of our relationship, you know?
And they've been together 5 years.
Right. Like, she came out and was just like, where you're selfish in the bedroom to get what you need and not cater to what I need, he cared about us, you know? And so it turns out she's still talking to his person. So this is all in episode 1. There's no other episodes yet. Episode 1. So my whole thing was basically, how do you feel, and then this is about to, you know, you guys, how do you feel about a hall pass in general, as well as the idea of using it if my partner, or if your partner steps out or does something outside of the relationship? Is it appropriate to be given a hall pass and use it or not? So that's my double question. It's, how do you feel about it? And then your partner giving it to you because they're trying to, quote unquote, rectify the situation. Yeah, it presented so much.
Oh, man. So, in that situation, that is, I just, I can't. Like, it's completely different when you're married. I mean, if and it really depends on who you're married to, because, like, you have some couples that they give each other hall passes,
Right.
but they do not bring it home. It's, you know, to them, and they don't have feelings for the person.
Right.
And then, you know, I personally, I don't really like the hall pass idea in that kind of aspect, especially because you got caught cheating, and now you put my health at risk for whatever reason, because now you have this yeast on your tongue from whatever it is, because you clearly did a lot more than get a BJ.
100%.
Exactly. And what if it was more than just the yeast? What if you came home and had chlamydia? What if you came home and had some crazy STD? Because clearly you did not care about me in general to fight that temptation in the first place.
Right.
And the fact that she is, you know, our age, and she was a virgin meeting her husband.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. But now that you give her this hall pass and you put a standard to that, that's BS.
Yeah.
100%. Because she should be allowed to do it. But if you knew you were going to go out and cheat, the second you thought about that, everything that notion of you and her is gone. Because there's no accidental in that.
No.
And if you're going to give someone a hall pass, you can't hold that to her. But 2 is, she hasn't experienced the world. So I need to know where your mental's at, because did you truly think that she would just give a kiss and a possible BJ? You know, even if she did, that's on her. But for her to go and do what she did and realize it's a lot more, there's a lot more intimacy than someone she's been with for X years.
Right.
Someone that wants to show her that there are so many different realms in the sexual world. Like, and one of that is catering your partner.
Yep.
And it's not fair.
Nope.
I don't think that hall pass is fair at all for him to give to her and then create a double standard.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And when she, like, they had their conversation about it after, his thing was like, was he better than me? Did he do you better than me? You always say I do good. She's like, no.
Yeah. It was like, I think her reaction would have probably been like any sensible woman's reaction, which was, you care more about him and his size and whether he was better, but not the fact of what got me to this point. Because it could have been him offering her a hall pass and she could have said, hell no.
Right.
No. Like, you cheated. I'm not going to... This is not going to get rectified, so if I cheat too, makes you feel better too.
Right.
You know? But you could tell that she got to a point where she was like, I'm done. Like, she checked out a long time ago.
Yeah.
And you could tell she's been dealing with it for a long time. And it was just like, all right, so you gave it to me. You really think I'm not going to use it? You really think that I'm just going to sit at home and watch our 2 kids and try to do the best as your wife, and you get to run around and just sling your shit all over the place? Like, no. I'm gonna use it.
Right.
And it should have been him asking, or him feeling like, how did we get here, instead of, was he better than me?
Right.
Like, did you realize you opened up Pandora's box with her? Do you know that now that she's experienced someone else, that now she's like, whoa, this was different. And not only just different, like, great different.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. You know?
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
I think his problem in that is his ego.
100%.
Because, he clearly wasn't thinking about her, how she felt, what they created. And that's not fair at all.
No.
I'm glad that she used that pass. Not because I'm a woman, because if it was vice versa, and the man had the hall pass, or the husband had the hall pass, and, the wife cheated, and she gave the husband and now she's pressed because he actually used it. Shame on you for thinking that someone has too good of a heart or too much feeling for you that they wouldn't. And let them soak in themselves.
Right.
Because now, she could have been like someone else or anyone else that would have taken that scenario and now hates her appearance, hates herself because she doesn't know what she doesn't have that the other woman did.
Yeah.
That allowed him to say, fuck it.
Right.
I'm going to just do it.
Right.
And then, you're not being secretive either.
Right.
Which, needless to say, I'm not I'm not for the cheating thing.
Right.
I'm really not. If you have an open relationship, you're poly, whatever, do your thing. It's just not for me. But, when you cheat on your partner, just know what comes with that.
Yes.
Because you're damaging someone else.
Yes.
Yes.
And, like, taking... And I think that's, like, being a virgin, at that age is so rare, too. And, like, I don't know what this man is thinking. Like, were you thinking that, like, because I took her virginity, I'm
all she's ever gonna want?
Yeah, she's never gonna desire anybody else. No, because she was like, fuck this. Like, I want to go and feel my oats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I praise her for that.
Yeah.
I praise her for that.
She's taking her strength back 100%.
Yes.
My thing also is that she undoubtedly loves this man. And she and she doesn't feel like bad about having sex, but she feels like, I have 2 very small children with this man. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And you could see that. And I followed their story for a while. And I think that was the first 90 Day Fiancés I got you on.
Yeah.
Was her story. And it's so heartbreaking. Because you can see the pain. And she did it out of making him feel what she felt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the end, that's what it was. It was, I want you to feel the pain that you made me feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And as women, we are emotional beings. And for him, sex could have just been sex. For us, it's the emotion behind the sex.
Right.
For me, like, in general, I'm not a fan of hall passes.
Not at all.
I'm not. I just feel like it's just you know, like you said, if you choose to have an open relationship, if you choose to be polyamorous, if you choose to have multiple partners with your partner's knowledge, so be it. But I don't feel like a hall pass is a reason or an excuse to go out there and do what you're doing.
Oh, I cheated. Don't worry. Here's a hall pass.
I had permission from you to go do it.
Right.
I feel like it breeds too much animosity. It breeds jealousy. It just starts mistrust. It just grows a lot of things that weren't necessary to grow from the start if you guys had just been open about where you wanted to take your relationship after how many years or whatever the case might be.
Right.
In this situation, just saying like, if my partner was to have done what he did and then to give me a hall pass, you know, would I take it? I think if I, you know, being and seeing her situation where she had been going through it for a long time,
Right.
I think over that period of time, I would have broken and most likely taken the hall pass.
Right.
I feel like I would love to sit here and say no, but in all honesty, you have to walk in that person's shoes, and you have to understand where they're coming. It's easy to say, I would never cheat. Cheating is not my thing. I would never do it. But be in her shoes where she wasn't feeling the love she deserved. Be in her shoes where she constantly has to check on a man who just couldn't keep it in his pants.
Right.
You know, be in a relationship where the man was just catering to himself and not to her. You know, where pretty much she was just there as a partner, but she wasn't there. He wasn't there.
He was
for
there
her.
physically,
Right.
but he wasn't there emotionally and mentally
For
Right.
her.
for her.
So,
And if she's a person, and like we said, we have a friend who this has happened to, women do not just check out.
Right.
They also check out emotionally.
Right.
And that happens way before the physical.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
just happen
when y'all
instantly.
come back at us and like how you moved on so quick,
Yeah,
it's not that. I checked out months ago.
yeah.
Right.
It took a long time. So
Right.
it's like,
You took me
If-
to my breaking point.
yeah, exactly.
But if I'm still willing to fight for you and I want you, I haven't checked out yet. You better turn it around.
That's right.
Right.
And if
Like-
you don't, then that's on you.
And too many relationships, and whether it's, you know, male, female, male, whatever, like too many relationships that split because of cheating or whatever it is, like the person that checks out always looks like the bad guy, and I don't think that's fair. Because like you said, you know, walk through their shoes in that relationship, you know, and like why, and going back to the hall pass thing, why do I need your permission
Yes.
to go fuck around when you didn't have mine? And if I didn't find out, this would have been a secret.
100%.
Right.
So
Right.
why
If
do I
she,
need a hall
can
pass?
you imagine if she didn't know what thrush was? If he was like, what is this white stuff on my tongue? She'd be like, I don't know. What did you eat?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? She could have instantly been like, I don't
know.
get it.
But
What is
then-
that?
Thought everything was hunky dory.
Right.
Right. And you gonna kiss me with that mouth?
Oof.
After you've already gone
Ooh.
out there, you're
Exactly.
miles away from me and your children,
Yeah.
Right.
and you're just doing your due. And now this comes to say, what is it if he just didn't do it there, but he did it before?
Right. Because
He
she
just got
trusted
caught.
you
Yeah.
to be over there.
He just
Correct.
got caught
Trusted
this
you.
time. That was
He
it.
got caught this time.
Right.
That doesn't mean there wasn't anyone before, because if you're willing to kiss and let somebody go down on you, that doesn't. Other people have offered.
Right.
Other
Yeah.
people have been there and have seen it and have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help because, you know, they're on a show. So
Right.
a lot of people, regardless of what your quote unquote celebrity status is, when you're on a show, people always hit you up.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, they'll find you and they'll just hit you up. It's your responsibility on how far you want to take that.
Right.
That fanship. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Again, I just feel like I want to sit here and say, hell no, I'm not taking the hall pass. I would kick him to the curb. I'm just over it and I'm walking away. But it's very hard when you have your heart wrapped up in it, and you have a
Yes.
Right.
family wrapped up in it,
Right.
and you have years wrapped up in it. It would be so easy to say deuces, but
It's easy for someone on the outside to say deuces.
right.
Yes.
And I could even say that, like, my relationship is, I'm 8 years in. We all know this with my significant other, and it's not the best. You know, there were points when it's not going to be the best. But if you're willing to work with me, but if he had ever given me that option of, here's a hall pass, there would be no relationship
Right.
at all.
Right.
Like, and when I brought this to their attention, and I was like, hey, just a random question, would you ever let me have a hall pass? And we all know my significant other. He was like, I think he honestly got very concerned because I got the ...
Press.
Right.
He said, "Where you at? I need a picture with a fork."
Hello.
Literally.
Let me explain something. If my significant other was closer, I promise you, within an hour, he would have been at the house. Would have been at the house.
I had completely
She had a
different experience.
reaction. Mine was more
was
like,
just-
I'm concerned.
Right. Mine was straight up like, no, girl, you had all them opportunities before you met me to do. And I was like, the good answer. You're right.
Now in yours.
Yeah. in my relationship, as far as I'm concerned, the day we said I do, she was a virgin. She never had an ex.
I'm so done.
God sent her to me.
What reality is this?
All right. Because you know what? Ain't no one hearing I love you
I'm so done.
except me.
Okay.
There was no one.
Wow. Okay.
Ignorance is bliss.
Apparently it is. Oh, well, yeah. I just wanted to like throw that out there because, you know,
That is
I'll talk
crazy.
about different relationships,
Look.
but I just feel like this hall pass thing, yo, we not in school.
Right.
We are some grown
Right.
tail people.
Look, I know.
Let's not play these games.
Let's say I know someone else who did receive a hall pass, and it wrecked their relationship. 100%, completely. The hall pass was supposed to be a one-time deal. The hall pass became a whole new thing.
It was the whole semester.
Oh, it was more than a semester. All right, but the actual relationship was completely wrecked.
Right.
It was destroyed, and the trust between the two individuals was gone.
Absolutely.
So it may work for other people, but I have seen it outside
Right.
become, so much bigger and really completely hurt people.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it is. I don't want to hurt you.
Right.
It's not a hurt situation.
Yeah.
I don't want you feeling that hurt, and you should never want to have the person that you love feel that hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you want a get out of jail free card. This ain't Monopoly.
Right.
Because
And-
I'm going to jail. For real. Let's keep it a buck.
I think that, like, too, is once one person in the relationship starts to emotionally and mentally decline towards their person, like, the person that's still at their, like, cloud 9 feelings, like, they give the continuous chance
Yeah.
because they're willing to work anything out until they get to that point where there is no trust.
Right.
And it's like, it sucks,
Yeah.
and then, like, it's, I've seen more scenarios go down, like, I've been in a scenario where I was with someone and that person cheated on me with someone younger than me. And the person I was with was older, and that really bothered me because, and I was like 18, 19,
Okay.
and that really, really hit me mentally.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what do What is it that I don't
Don't
have?
have.
What is it that I'm doing wrong?
Right. Right.
And when you're damaged that way, we don't realize we carry that
Yes.
constantly until we grow out of that.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
heal from that. And like, I give kudos to this woman 100% because she took it and she ran full force.
Yep.
And she
Yep.
discovered the sexual realm and the emotional realm is so much deeper than what he had to offer.
Correct.
And shame on him for taking that advantage.
Yeah. Literally opened up Pandora's box. Literally. So I can't wait to see the next couple episodes on this.
Yeah,
So
that may be something we gotta talk about and bring it up.
yeah.
I mean, the other couples on there are alright, but this one,
Their story really, yeah.
this one,
So, who's up next?
I'll go. So, I have a very interesting. Am I the asshole?
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. So this is a recent one. So from today. All right. So the title goes, "Am I the?" And okay, I have to put a disclaimer on this one first and foremost. This is not safe for work content.
Okay.
I'm so glad we're not at work.
Yeah. But this is not safe for work content. So if you are listening to this loud, this was your warning. Okay. Title is, "Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that I'm breaking up with her if she doesn't start moaning during sex?"
Ooh. Read it.
If they could only see my face.
We, male 33, female 35, have been together for 3 years. She is very beautiful and amazing. We have loads of fun and she makes me laugh and has this way of making me feel good even when I'm having a rough day. We have even plans of moving in together. The problem is, what makes me very careful making long-term plans with her is the sex part. She is as quiet as a mouse. One of my turns on is giving pleasure to my partner, and with her, I don't get that because of how quiet she is. I have no effing idea when it's good for her or when she comes. I have tried to discuss this with her, and she has promised multiple times to be more vocal. And sometimes I see that she remembers and moans, but then falls back into her old habits. After we're done, I told her she was being quiet again, and she confused because she says she thought she was being loud and that she doesn't remember much because she was so immersed in her own pleasure, and that just laughs it off with a sorry or I was too busy coming. So, for a month now, I've been pulling off. And yesterday I told her that I was thinking that we maybe not fit for each other. She asked why, and I didn't want to hurt her, so I said we weren't compatible and had different interests. She was surprised and said maybe it was something we could work on instead of throwing in the towel, and to tell her the truth is it someone else? So I had to tell her the truth, and I have talked to her about it in a matter of fact. When I told her the reason, she was very quiet, pun intended, and she left and texted me instead that I was shallow and an asshole for breaking up because of something like that. That while she may not moan like a porn star, I'm not blind to see her body language or numb not to feel her body in my arms, so I must be stupid and an asshole. She said she couldn't keep her promises before because when she's enjoying herself and is near her, brain can't remember what she has promised me to do, so she couldn't have done what I wanted. But then she would have faked her pleasure instead, like a porn star. Is that what your stupid brain thinks is sexy? She hasn't texted me since yesterday, and I'm starting to think that maybe I was an asshole for hurting her like that, but basically insinuating she was bad in bed. I don't think it, though. So,
Ooh.
is he the asshole? Take it, ladies.
I'm gonna let Chrissy go first.
I need to know where the ex-girlfriend is. I want to hear what you have to say, girl.
I need to hear her too.
Yeah.
For real, for real. Yeah.
I really feel that. I'm just gonna touch what we know right now.
Right, because we need more information, and we're not gonna get that from her.
Right.
We're getting this from his point of view. He is a 33-year-old man.
Right.
And she was a 35-year-old woman.
Right.
Those are the facts.
Yes. All right. So
The stress on both of you.
it is a stressful topic. I will say that. And the reason I say that is because we don't know what you're doing in bed, sir.
Right.
Because
how are you performing?
Exactly, because you can be huge, and that doesn't mean anything if you're not doing what you need to do to satisfy your partner. You could be below average, and homegirl is yodeling.
Right.
All right?
She in the back, eyes curled.
Right. She can't breathe. She's having an asthma attack, and she said, "I don't care. I want to die right here." Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Jesus. But she's willing to do that.
right. She clearly loves him.
Clearly, because she's willing.
That is
Right.
the way to see the pearly gates.
Yes.
And come back and say, not now, man. I gotta
Right.
finish what I started.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But I'm sensing that he genuinely doesn't know his ex-girlfriend's fantasies or what she likes. Because you can point and say she's not doing this and not doing that. And yes, you get the sensation that you're pleasing your partner. But are your walls thin? Are your neighbors nosy?
Right.
You not bending her over? You don't know how to do the pretzel? Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if she's sparing your feelings,
Yeah.
for whatever it is,
Right.
she's allowed you that far. And
Right.
then for the reason to break up because of sex, and I understand he tried to, spare her feelings in a sense, but you didn't stop to say, what do you like to do in bed? What really gets you going? Do you have a fantasy? Do you like to dress up? Do you want to role play? Do you, want me to throw you across the room? Like,
Yeah.
it's...
Hanging from the chandeliers.
Exactly.
Right.
If you intend on living with your partner and going through all those commitment milestones, you should visit the realm of what do you want to do in bed? What do you like in bed?
Right.
What drives you nuts? Because once you start to have it in your mind that you want this person forever,
Yeah.
there's a lot of it that goes into it. But when you look at the sex aspect, it's like, all right, like, I'm getting here and I'm good,
Yeah.
but she's not. Because if you don't know if your partner's coming, if you don't know if your partner is
Speak.
liking it,
Speak.
and you think that, you are
Slam dunking it.
right, and, she's just like laying there and her eyes are closed and she can't remember what happened, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. You're not doing it for her in some way. But I can't shit on him entirely because until she responds, because that's such a very spot on. If she sees that, she gonna know it's her. Like, I really hope that she does respond with her portion, because everybody is different
Yes.
in bed.
Yes.
And she may enjoy their intimacy, and she just is not a moaner.
Right.
Like, but it's clear that he's not looking deeper into what is satisfying her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what else is going in that?
I literally took I like what you're saying. I took it that way. Like in the end, I feel like she was getting satisfied. She's just not a moaner because she pointed it out where you didn't look at my body language. You are just going based off of what you hear.
Right.
You're not going based off of me physically and my reaction. She even said, I'm sorry. I was paying attention to my pleasure. I was paying attention to me coming.
Right.
So for me, I'm more concentrated on what I'm feeling because it's so good that I don't have time to double think about, oh, I got to moan for you right now while I'm getting mine.
Right.
Isn't that the point of this?
Right.
That, you're working on getting me off, same as I'm doing for you. And the fact that he couldn't even recognize that, and that she's literally like, you're being an asshole for breaking up for me because I couldn't moan for you. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe that's what he needs to get off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's something that he should really fully explain to her instead of just telling her, I need you to moan. Like, maybe she doesn't get your pleasure. Like, my pleasure is getting you off and my pleasure is hearing you. But if she's saying that physically she's feeling it and physically she's so in that space that she just doesn't have the willpower to do that, but she is getting off on him. So it's nothing against him. It's just how her body, like you said, everyone's different. Her body's reacting to him. So he's doing his job, but he's a dumbass because he's not hearing it.
Right.
And to me, he's an asshole.
Right.
Do not break up with me because you can't hear me moaning. Listen to my body.
Right.
You will see that it's moaning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think him not really taking the time to actually acknowledge her physicality instead of just going based off what he needed to hear, that makes him an asshole. And I do agree. I still need to hear her side of it. But all in all, hearing her response in that text message to him, hearing what he had to say, it just all rubbed me the wrong way because it just means that he was really just looking for his own gratification and not paying attention to her.
That's true.
And I just, that's over the top for me.
There's a few things. Also, this is not a new relationship.
Right.
We've been in this for 3 years now. They could have just started having sex. No, whatever.
Yeah.
But you were already thinking about moving in together, making a life together. We not young. We in our 30s. Okay?
Yeah.
We not young. We just don't throw away relationships. Okay?
Right.
Let's be honest. Number one, we've been in this relationship for 3 years. I am not spending 3 years of my time on you. And then you're going to be like, oh,
because I don't
it's
moan.
because you don't moan.
Right.
Excuse me?
Right. Go watch porn.
You are addicted to porn, sir, and the fakeality of porn.
It's entertainment.
That's
I
what it
don't
is.
get what people don't understand about porn. It is done. It's just like you go to the movies on a regular and you watch more, like the Avengers. None of us are going to be flying anytime soon,
Right.
or hopping around and laser beams from our hands,
Right.
or doing some magic. No, because you know why? It's entertainment.
Right.
Porn,
It's fantasy.
It's fantasy.
It's fantasy.
Porn is the same exact thing. It is fantasy. Okay, it is not reality. It is done for the pleasure of you. What
Right.
part of that you don't get? So all
Right.
that fake moaning they doing in there, you want me to flip that too? Just moaning, fake, and you could tell
And she
it bothered
even
her.
said, she was like, you want me to fake it? Like,
Right.
I am in my mind, and I'm honestly just enjoying this moment, being this connection, emotional connection with
Right.
you. And you are more concerned about this bitch emo.
Right.
I can't get off because my partner's not giving me
I
the
can't tell.
They not
It's not-
moaning.
I can't tell if I'm satisfying her because I don't hear her.
Because she not wet.
But
And then
she's
you don't know.
literally, physically, clearly, she's in the motion. She's
Right.
doing it clearly.
Clearly, she was
Right.
enjoying herself.
But
Clearly,
because he didn't hear
she
it,
couldn't figure it out. Plus, I did read some comments, and people were like, he was like, well, she's an engineer. I guess she can't do two things at once. Do not bring her profession into that.
Absolutely.
You are the
disrespectful.
asshole.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, and she always talked about women could do multitask of things. not when your brain has decided I have shut off.
I hate that. You see that comment right there bothers me. First off, don't bring up her job. It has nothing to do with who she is as a person. It's her job. Number one. And number two, that whole concept of women can multitask, that is not true. Everyone is different. Everyone's brains are wired differently.
Right.
There are times where I have to say, I cannot do multiple things. Give me 1 minute. Let me just do this, and then I'll get to that.
Right.
It happens. You know, not everyone is like, so please throw these stereotypical crap out the window. It's just like, oh, the bigger they are, the better they are. No, that's not true.
Right.
Sometimes the bigger they are, and the there's no motion in the ocean whatsoever.
Right.
So let's not sit here and act as if that applies to every single person in this world. It doesn't.
Right.
So I think some people need to correct their comments, because please don't bring people's professions and stuff into that. It bothers me. I don't like when people do things like that. It's just,
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with the situation. The situation at hand is he wasn't paying attention to his partner's physical reaction to him, and he just needed the auditory reaction, and that for him tells him whether or not he's pleasing her, which he needs to go and get properly trained in sex and recognizing recognizing her physically and not recognizing her what he needs to hear auditory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Like that whole them being together for 3 years, whether they just started sex or they've been having sex the whole time, you knew this was what your partner was.
Right.
Yep.
Right. You knew her.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think she's just quiet in
it.
sex, right?
Right.
And if she's quiet in sex, are you the one moaning? Are you giving her that satisfaction that her coochie is bomb? You know what I'm saying? Are you making her feel good?
Right.
Because sex is pleasuring each other.
Yes.
And you can't just be like, my partner doesn't moan, so it's whack. Because you don't even know if your girl is climaxing.
Right. Right.
And I find that so disrespectful
After 3
to say.
years.
After 3 years, you don't know that when your partner is climaxing.
But she's the problem.
Right.
Because she can't moan. And I find that once you're in your own place with your partner,
Yeah.
you you find so many different things out about your sex life. Okay? Like me and my wife, when we moved in together, like our own place together, you can't tell us nothing.
Right.
Like whole new realms. And that's what it should be like once you commit to a person. Once you move in with a person that you are committing to and dedicating yourself to, that you both believe you are the one for each other and all of that stuff, those realms, you shouldn't be shy to go into. It should be a conversation. You should be able to sit on the couch and be like, I was watching something and I would love to try it. It seems impossible, but if we can try it one time, I can decipher if I like it or not.
One time for the one
because
time.
Because I might not like it, but you might, and we might find a way to make that work.
Right.
Like, to expect your partner to be screaming at the top of her lungs.
Right.
One, where are you?
Right.
Where are you? I would love to know, because if you're in a building, an apartment, a house, whatever.
Ain't nobody want to hear that.
Right. Respectfully, nobody wants to hear that. And
Right.
two is, unless those walls are concrete thick, soundproofed, some people just don't have are too timid to moan excessively. Because they're going to walk out embarrassed. No matter what age you are.
Yeah.
And yes, sex is a normal thing, but unfortunately, if you live in a complex where majority of the community are elders, they don't want to hear that.
Right.
So you're being respectful, whatever.
Right. Unless you are a billionaire living in a billionaire mansion, and you can be as loud as you want on your deserted island, by all means, go have at it. But in reality, that's not the case.
Right.
So let's not sit here and pretend like you want her screaming from the mountaintop in a small apartment.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Like,
no. He's the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I hope homegirl
respond, right?
Respond.
She's like looking at it and go, what the hell, is this me? and
Well,
just
right.
He
she goes,
deleted his whole account after after a few hours. It seems like because people was calling him an asshole, and he didn't.
TikTok, do your thing.
Yeah, I would definitely love to hear what other people think about that. Like, do you think he was the asshole, or do you think that she was the asshole? Like, definitely, let us know what you think about that. That would be interesting to hear other sides.
Right. So a lot of people did side with us in comments on this Reddit, and said he was the asshole. And then he was so upset, and this is how you know he was acting like a child. He deleted his profile and deleted all the comments that he commented on, so no one could read his back and forth with people.
Oh, okay, yeah, we're dealing with a man child.
Man child. But that's my contribution for today.
Thank you. You and Reddit.
I'm here all day. Not really, but still.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, y'all. I guess it's up to me. All right. I'm going to shift it for a little bit. So, now that it's cooled down from the topic and the news and TikTok, who's ready for this alien invasion?
Not me. Not me at all.
Because we know it's gonna be fake.
Yeah, I'm ducking.
I'm
and
not
dodging.
for nothing. I'm with everyone that says we're gonna get this alien invasion, and they're not real aliens. No,
But you...
I want. All right.
By yourself.
If y'all got better stuff on another planet, take me, because I don't want this one no more.
I'm so done.
Like, I like, it's funny to me.
I
because,
saw that meme you put up the other day about it.
Yes, that would be me dancing, trying to convince the Anunnaki to take me with them.
I'm so done.
All right?
I'm all like, leave me as I am in my bed. Please
Don't probe me,
do
please.
not take me or probe me. I am. I'm good.
So I don't want to be probed either. But
She said, let me explore the universe.
right. But if y'all aliens are
I'm done.
have a way better system than we do out here, I'll take it.
But who says that they want us?
True.
Right.
They just come in to see what we doing. Like, ooh, they built that building in 30 years. Look at that.
So
Look at
dumb.
that. Look at that. We're going to come back in like 6 to see how it's still there.
Right.
Oh, look at them. They went and look at, we helped them build. May they rest in peace, all the people. I love y'all so much because we in New York. The Twin Towers, and they gone.
Right.
Look at what humans do to each other.
Right.
Look at what civilizations do. Let's leave this little crop circle here for a second. What they gonna do?
Right.
What they gonna do?
I'm so done.
Right.
Okay.
You know what they're going to do? They're actually going to acknowledge the fact that
Right.
that's what we did.
Do we get settlement checks because you called us crazy forever?
Yo,
ever.
I
Right.
feel like a lot of people deserve
Right. I want to
due
know.
justice.
Right. Right.
They need
Yeah.
restitution.
Right.
They need restitution.
Right.
Tell me not. Look,
Right.
look. Y'all all know. I am not down for no alien nothing. I ain't down for no alien this or alien that. My mind just be going World War. World War Z. Sorry, my bad. That's zombies. I meant, it's the one with the Tom Cruise.
Oh,
War of the World.
Yes.
There we go. That's where my
That was
brain
crazy.
goes. Crazy enough that I still watch that movie, but
and it
I
terrifies me.
Right.
It terrifies me because
Right.
I'm like, I don't want you to kill me like
Right.
that. I want to die
Zappity
peacefully.
zoop zoop. Exactly.
Peacefully. All right.
I'm telling you, that's the one that always comes to mind for me.
Right.
It's War of the Worlds, and I was just like,
I will come with you peacefully.
right,
And I want to die of old age
right.
with no crazy
No.
claw blood sucking thing.
The
like
zap went through the car. I thought I was safe in the car. It went through the car.
right.
I was like, no, Jesus, no. So that's my thoughts But the fact that I'm not gonna front that the government definitely
Right.
denounced so many people that they were crazy.
Right.
For years. People deserve restitution. I go front.
Because it don't make sense. We knew they were around. We knew they existed, homie.
Right.
We knew.
Right.
I want you to release the true footage of
Yeah.
Bigfoot. I want to know where Nessie comes from. Tell me, because
They have said that Nessie. There's another thing. It's just whale penis up in the air, just.
that's real big. I want to know.
I'm sorry, you guys can't see my face, but
I want to.
Did.
Right.
They say it's whale penis.
what is
I can't help that. I don't know.
what?
Yes.
I haven't heard that one. That one's new to me.
Yo, you should look it
oh.
up. It is crazy. Please don't look up. Do not Google whale penis. You won't get arrested.
I actually I watched a video of a woman's I guess it's conspiracy, whatever, of her explaining what if this is just the grounds where the actual monster, quote unquote, Nessie comes every few years, decade, whatever it is, to mate or whatever, and then goes swims back into the ocean, the deeper ocean.
I
never
mean,
know.
probably.
Exactly. I want to know that shit.
It's so. I mean, there's so much of the sea that we haven't explored,
And it's taken over.
and honestly impossible to explore. And even though they've tried and made those people rest in peace, especially when they were trying to go to the Titanic, I feel like there's just so much that is unknown in this world. So for the government to finally come out and say, yeah, aliens are real, it's like, no, duh.
Right.
You know?
Right. Tell me something we don't know.
Right.
Because I believe it when people tell me they got abducted. Why? Because the stories are wild. Everybody sees a white owl at 11:11, 3:33, 4:44, all those crazy times, and it's always the same thing. Like, or you're walking.
No.
Like the one case where, you know, there's a bunch of guys and one guy gets abducted for like 3 or 4 days. He's missing. They're about to get arrested, convicted, and then he shows back up. No fucking recognition of recollection. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't think. Of what happened. And everyone thought they killed this guy. And these guys were telling the truth. Boom, something beamed down, stole homeboy. He's in a comatose, doesn't remember anything. Found back there.
Same spot.
Right. Doesn't know nothing.
They like
Nothing. Exactly.
Crystal's whole face
Exactly.
right now. If I could take
He
this
was a chosen one. All right. He was a chosen one.
So sorry.
Like,
Don't choose me. Don't choose me. I do not volunteer for tribute. Don't choose me.
like the ones I don't believe is when like I woke up on a spaceship and I was smoking a cigarette with his big eyes, great. They weren't smoking cigarettes
my
with
God.
you, bro.
Oh
Stay
my
away from the pure moonshine. Like, bro,
Nope. No.
like there's too many. Like, we knew that because you know why?
Dub.
We dug into so many stories that just are out of this world. Like people getting abducted, and then now they have what is it called? Different kinds of metals in their body that
hell no.
they don't know where they came from or what they're made of.
Where you just come out from?
Yeah, there's so many different theories on it.
I'm sorry. No.
Like,
All that unnecessariness.
yeah,
Like, no. No.
yeah. Like, what I need the government to do is tell us if the earth is flat or not. And I'm not going to tell y'all what I believe or not because I want to hear y'all fight or see y'all fight in the comments. But tell me, let us know. Let us know.
You know what I need
I'm
the
not-
government to do? Cancel student debt.
Right. Right.
That's a conspiracy.
Right.
by
That's a whole
itself.
conspiracy,
Yeah.
right? I need my student loans canceled.
You
Thank
don't know
Like
how many
yesterday.
petitions I've done signed.
Right.
I'm with it. Change.com
like yesterday.
got my name on there a billion times.
Right.
Because my student loan debt ain't
I
getting
am
paid.
so done.
Right.
I'm a
While you
Come
cancel
on.
that, lower the rent and the taxes being taken out of our checks because
Bro.
we cannot survive
Bro.
off a few $100s.
Bro.
Just know.
eggs is $8. Right? It used to be $2 a
I'm so,
carton.
well, it's back to me.
Not everywhere.
Right. Faces. Yeah.
The $100 that used to get me my whole household full of groceries has
Right.
now inflation has said
Yo, I ain't going
600.
front. I'm
Right.
not going front. When you go to the store and you buy like 5 items and they be pulling out $150.
Whoa, whoa!
Yo, I'm not even going front. So today I went to the store. We need a paper towel.
Uh-huh.
I got
it.
some paper towel.
It's supposed to be 69 cents a roll.
Right. And I actually got some more deli meat. So I was like, okay.
A pound is only $9.99.
I was like, okay.
Give me the animal.
I got in line. I don't even know how this is a conspiracy, but I got in line. And the lady in front of me, she had like a few items. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say like about 10 items or whatever.
All right.
Right? They scan it or whatever. Tell me how the cashier even looks at $140 something. I was like, the lady was like, and the cashier was like, wait a minute, take out all them items again. She said, I don't know how you got. Woo! I was like, what the heck did she buy? Gold, silver.
Right.
What else did she buy there for $140 something? No, but it turned out to be a mistake. It was only like $40 something. But still,
okay.
I don't know what the 100 popped in on. But it scared me. It scared me. It was even my purchases. Mind you, my 2 little paper towels and my deli meat came to $20, y'all. Okay? That should have been double checked.
You can't live out here in these streets. It's hard. We living in the hood.
That was a conspiracy by itself.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah,
This is why we live off Dollar Tree. Like,
I'm done. I was just like, no.
either, okay, and this is being all honest, nobody can live off $15 an hour.
Right.
I make more than that, and I'm still
Depends
living
on where you're from, though.
true.
Because
No,
we're in New York.
we're in New York that makes $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's minimum wage.
that's minimum wage.
right.
I have a significant other that lives in Florida who makes more than minimum wage and still can't live.
Right.
Let's be real.
Right.
Even if you do $15 across the board, which is supposed to be amazing,
Right.
cost of living is astronomical.
Right.
Yeah.
Fix that.
Right. Pop the balloon that you call inflation because it's ridiculous. Like all of the conspiracies about how they're trying to shrink population and
It's okay. Millennials ain't trying to have kids.
I mean,
Because we can't afford it.
Exactly.
right, and not
We
only
can't afford it.
You
Right.
can't even afford to have a house.
right, and not only that, but now we dig into reproductive health.
Yeah.
Like as we go along, just in our group alone, how many of us have reproductive problems?
Out of 10, I think we counted 8.
That's a
I
big
mean,
number.
if I count like our immediate group,
right.
Of
and
women.
I'm just thinking of like the women. There's about 4 of us out of a good like 8 of us that are definitely been diagnosed. 4 or
Right.
5 of us that have really been like diagnosed
Right.
with having reproductive issues. And it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary because that's just our immediate friend group. That
Yeah.
doesn't even extend to people who I haven't seen in a while, or people who we on occasion you catch up with or whatever. And for our generation, we are millennials. For those that don't know, we are all within that age group of 1980 to I think 1990 something, 94, something like that. So we range in that age group of millennials, especially like the older, more towards the older version of millennials, and majority of us have endometrial issues. Literally off my hand, I can literally count them, and it's wild to me. It came to revelation not too long ago because I had to sit back and think about it, because I at one point want to build a family. And I've had to do a lot of things in the last few years to get to where I am today, and still getting to where I want to be in the next few months to a year, just to start that process of going through having a family. And I'm in my mid 30s, literally, and we all know that it's not easy for late 30s to early 40s to have a child. So when I had to bless you.
Sorry.
So when I had to think about all that, the process of getting through it and going through what I have to go through, or what a lot of my friends have had to go through to have the families that they have, it's wild and makes no sense. And crazier, we're all people of color.
Yes.
We are all people, I mean, wide spectrum of color, from Latina to Black to Caribbean to Indian to Asian. And I have a range of friends, of every single nationality, creed, things like that. And to see how many of us are having these issues, it is crazy. And it's like, what are we doing? What is happening to us? What are we putting in our bodies, or what is happening in our areas to cause this?
Like, I'm just counting, say, off your hands, 8 people, including the 3 of us here. 6 out of 8 have, as I know, have reproductive issues. That is 75% of our friend group.
Yeah.
When you think of that, is wild.
Yeah.
And then when I add another person, I'm like, nope, they also check off they have issues.
Yep.
When I add another, oh, nope, they also have issues or have had issues.
Right.
Like, it's...
And a lot of us are ranging from our late 20s to late 20s to, I would say, mid to late 30s. And we're all considered in that range of, like I said, millennials. And it's just, what did we all do to get to this point in our lives? Because we all live in different parts.
Yes.
We're all existing in different areas. So it makes you think that's not a coincidence. It can't have just been... It's one thing if it's me.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if I'm 1 out of the 10.
Right.
But you're telling me 8 of us out of 10 people?
Right.
That's not a coincidence. That's just not something that just is regular schmegular.
It's like it's hormones. Oh, you're not eating organic.
And
who can afford organic?
But we can't even afford to all. And I would have to say, majority of us all still live either at home or have to live with a roommate, or we just can't afford to live on our own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're that age group that not only do we not want children, but we can't even afford to have children. And those of us that do want children are having endometrial issues or reproductive issues.
And we can't afford the treatments to naturally have a child, or to even help, or even get the treatment to help us with, we can even get the treatment or afford the treatment for IVF or IVI or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, if the government is so concerned about the population shrinking, they should make that affordable.
Right.
Because like it's bullshit. Like, it's really bullshit. Like,
as a woman.
Yeah, because not only do these problems more and more common as we go in life, but you know, there's also there's also like the pressure. The pressure of, when are you gonna have a baby? I don't have a grandkid. I don't have a great grandbaby. I don't have this. I don't have that.
Yeah.
And like, I really think that people should stop doing that, because you don't know the mental stress that it causes a person, especially someone with reproductive problems.
I think a lot of it stems from like the older generation, because for them it was easier.
You get married at 20 to 30. You have a kid 9 months later.
Yeah.
You make your family.
Right. And it's I think they don't, or they fail to realize like that, hey, I went to college and them bills came out to be $100,000 and I got to pay that back. Right. So that same, and then you didn't go to college.
Right.
So you didn't have that bill to worry about, or you didn't have, you didn't have to worry about other things that we worry about today.
Correct.
That are different.
But every time I see them, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. You look amazing. When are you getting married? When are you having babies?
Right. And it's like,
it may be in the cards, but not
different
at
generation.
This moment.
Yeah, I think the enlightenments that have happened with these last few generations is something that the older generations can't understand.
Correct.
Right.
Like once upon a time, LGBTQIA was not
right
as loud and proud as it is today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mixed relationships was not prevalent and running around. We look at commercials now and we can see ourselves.
Right. Oh my gosh.
We can see these mixed babies running around, mixed families
in Disney and
right.
everything.
It wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
Right.
And another thing is just the fact that, everything is way more expensive nowadays, what I'm saying, than it was back then. And the only thing that's not going up fast enough is our paychecks.
Right.
You're going to be on WIC. You're going to be on government assistance. And as people who work very hard,
right,
and to support ourselves, to think that if I start a family, I may have to be put on government assistance because I cannot afford to feed my child.
Right.
I mean, I have to say I always look at it as a stepping stone. If you can't afford to get it, at least use it as a stepping stone, but don't use it as a crutch.
Right.
That's what I say. Like, don't take advantage of it and just stay on it because you feel like, well, this is all I can afford. You get it to where you need to be and get yourself off of it so that, now that you can give somebody else an opportunity to get it. I don't feel WIC is something stable for a long period of time, but I do feel like it's a stepping stone. Yeah. And that's just my opinion. That does not mean it's everyone's opinions. I grew up in a way where you utilize whatever the state / your government gives you, but you don't stay on it for a long period of time. You let it help you get to where you need to be, and then after that, when it's time to let it go, you let it go. And you do what you move on from there.
And I know we started this talking about women's health, and we've gotten into babies, but we have a friend who just had her child 4 months ago, and she had no issues. She had no endometrial issues. But now let's talk about how the hospital almost took her away from her child.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic. Oh my gosh. It's just, I feel like that's just such a wide conversation.
It is.
That
makes you then think of, we're going through all of these, and then we have a good thing, a great we had a great 9 months, And now I get to the place where I choose.
Well,
these
that
people.
goes into more than just women's thing. That goes into a race thing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where that comes into a more very in-depth conversation.
Yeah.
Very, because that is just, yeah, I think we're going to have to do that another time, because that one plays heavily for me, because it is such a disastrous situation. All I can say is definitely a conversation for next time, but definitely something for like, there is a documentary on Hulu that I highly recommend when it comes to discussing that topic, and it's called Aftershock. And if there's anything that I recommend that, because that will help for people to understand when we do go into discussion with this topic what we're discussing. That was a tough one.
No.
Living in this world with aliens and that I don't want to live with. Aliens and with
you're saying beat me up, Scotty.
women's endometrial issues, and it's crazy.
It's crazy.
You know, it's crazy out here in these streets.
For Rizzle.
Before we go, let's bring in. Let's recommend.
So a new segment that we're going to be doing towards the end of all of our podcast is called, it's right now we don't have a full name, but it's our recommendations. So it could be a place, it could be a book, it could be a movie, it could be food, it can be destinations, pretty much anything that really interests us. All of us, and even our guests, whoever should come on, will recommend to our listeners, and hopefully soon viewers, and I think just leave it on a good note of something that we really would think that our listeners would be interested in. So each one of us will give our recommendation, and hope you guys can give us feedback on what you think we should be recommended to try, see, explore, maybe read, things like that, because we're more than open to try new things as well. So
not everything.
Not everything. But we're willing to hear any recommendations you may have.
Please, no butter stuff.
Right.
Oh.
And just so you know, these are not sponsored. These are not sponsored recommendations. But if anyone out there who hears us and we recommend your product or place or food and wants to sponsor us, please hit us up. All right, so I will jump it off first. My recommendation, it's a book called Stranger in the Woods by Annie Taylor. I just finished the Audible about a week ago, and I have to say the Audible is about 13 hours, but it was free on Audible. It was very engrossing. I do have to say a little bit, there were parts that were maybe just a tiny bit redundant, but I still enjoyed it, even with the twists and turns. Like, the whole way through, you're trying to figure out what happened. So I don't want to give anything away, but it's definitely about the murder of this child, and everyone in this town and the family has secrets, and it pertains to this child who died. And it is the twists and the turns that you go through in this book it's just crazy. So again, it's Stranger in the Woods by Annie Taylor. You can definitely look it up on Amazon and look it up on Audible. It was free, and I highly recommend it.
All right, so my recommendation. I am a gamer, and I have a lot of gaming systems. So recently I am very engrossed in Diablo 4. It is just like a WoW. If you've ever played World of Warcraft or Stargate, Starcade. No, that's not the name. But it's okay. But if you've ever played a World of Warcraft type game or any of the Diablos before this is a continuation story, and it's so entrenched and so good. It's still on season 1, which I believe if you already have the game, it is an additional $10 to upgrade for the DLC for season 1. If not, you can continue to do season 1 without the $10 upgrade, without the premium items. You can go get this at your local store, download it onto your systems. I highly recommend. The customization for the game is out of this world. Definitely do Diablo 4. Really enjoyed it.
For my for my Netflix papers, I recommend watching The Strays. That is very. I thought it was good. I really did think that movie was good. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what's going on in it. I'm gonna make you guys go to Netflix and check it out. The only thing I will say is, what would you do in her situation, leaving 2 children behind and creating an entire life without them, for them to find where you are 18 years later and they realize you have 2 whole other children, another husband, and she's terrified to know that you found her. The Strays, people, on Netflix. Red Bull, sponsor me.
Again, none of these are sponsored. They're just our personal recommendations, so definitely take a look at those. And again, if you guys have any recommendations for us, we are more than open to hear them, and maybe we can even try something new that we haven't tried before. So hit us up in the comments and let us know what we should be trying. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of My Kind of Convo. Bye, guys.